on OC News. A California woman dies from the coronavirus.
Plus, Wall Street sees its worst day since 2008.
Then, the Lakers and Clippers faced off last night in the battle for LA.
Welcome to OC News. I'm Chase Napier.
And I'm Tian Williams. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
The coronavirus continues to spread around the world, infecting over 108,000 people and killing more than 3,800.
There are even local cases that have emerged in Southern California. Miranda Gonzalez has more on that top story.
The number of Americans infected with the coronavirus continues to rise. Last count was approaching 700, and at least 26 people in the United States have died from the virus. California declares a state of emergency after its second coronavirus death of a woman in her 60s from Santa Clara County. The woman died on Monday morning after weeks of hospitalization at El Camino Hospital in Mountain View, California. Growing concerns for the Bay Area continue to grow as the Princess cruise ship, which has been held off the coast of San Francisco for several days, has docked in Oakland as health officials prepare to treat the 21 people on board who have tested positive for the virus. Amid growing fears, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti urges Californians not to worry. He says California is prepared to protect their communities. California universities, including UC Berkeley and Stanford University, are canceling in-person classes and switching to fully online classes for the next 2 weeks as concerns for the coronavirus continue to rise. The universities hope the cancellation will help limit the risk of the virus on campus and protect their students and faculty members. Cal State Long Beach has 10 students self-quarantine as a precaution after those students attended a recent event in Washington, D.C., where 3 attendees not on campus tested positive for the virus. Cal State Fullerton announces it is currently reviewing all domestic and international travel with the Chancellor's Office. No hard decisions have been made, but the university intends on following all guidance issued by the California Department of Public Health. Italy is on lockdown as the number of cases of coronavirus rise to over 9,000 people. This makes Italy the second worst hit country, with the number of deaths rising from 73 to 463 as of today. People are being asked to stay at home, with public gatherings now being forbidden in order to prevent the number of cases of the virus expanding. 6 inmates in Italy have now died from prison riots due to authorities suspending all visitation to prevent outbreaks in the prison. Coronavirus continues to spread across Italy as the Prime Minister continues to do all he can to prevent further outbreaks. The U.S. stock market has stopped all trading since plunging more than 7% and 2,000 points as it closed down on the worst day since 2008. This comes after a week of ups and downs as the S&P 500 saw crashing oil prices, and growing coronavirus fears have caused experts to cite the possibility of a global recession. Saudi Arabia stunned the market with an oil price war, which is in demand due to the coronavirus outbreak. The virus has heavily weighed on investors as multiple stocks continue to drop. Globally, the coronavirus has infected over 106,000 with over 3,800 fatalities and 60,000 reported recoveries. Keep in mind these numbers continue to change by the hour as 3 new cases were reported in Riverside County less than an hour ago. That's all I have on the coronavirus. Back to you, Chase and Tian.
Hey Tian, do you have sunshine on the cloudy day? I know who does. Our reporter Dolores will take us back to the 60s.
Plus, Harvey Weinstein was heard in jail. He'll give you the update after this break.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
The stock market wasn't the only thing that dropped in the economy this week.
We'll send it over to Angie, who has all the updates.
Thanks, Tian. Just recently, we have noticed gas prices taking a spiral downward. For many, this may be a good thing, but there are also defaults that come with this casualty. We have reached an all-time low when it comes to gas prices, even worse than when the market crashed in the 2008 recession. Gas prices have dropped to nearly 20% since the coronavirus breakout. The virus is playing a huge factor in the stock market, but it is playing an even bigger factor to the United States economy. Even though lower gas prices means saving money, there is a possibility it could cause bankruptcies, job losses, and loan defaults. Now, enough talk of the job losses. Let's get into last week's Super Tuesday elections and what we're projecting for this, as well as what is expected of this Super Tuesday's election. Last week's Super Tuesday led to candidates such as Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg dropping out of the race. This is leaving the Democratic presidential nomination to candidates such as Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders facing off against one another. This week's Super Tuesday will be held in Idaho, Mississippi, Missouri, North Dakota, and Washington. Biden already sits with an upper hand with 10 victories. We are expecting him to continue that winning streak. That's just a little update on what's going on in the political world. Back to you folks in the studio.
Changing gears now, our reporter is on the scene with an event that is music to the ears of Titans.
That's right. Let's see what Dolores Alvarez has for us today. Dolores?
I'm here at Cal State Fullerton in the Atrium Gallery. I'm here in the Atrium Gallery at Cal State Fullerton, where the school is celebrating its 60th year of music achievement. This is a verbal exhibit, which means they have a lot of stuff for you to read. Let's take a look. First, they talk about the history and the theory of music, moving on to different types of instruments that are used, such as the piano and keyboard, and also moving on to the different types of genres, which Cal State Fullerton has performed over the years, including jazz, chorus, and also opera. And moving over here, we have the artifacts of Cal State Fullerton, where the school has been invited to perform for many, many years. So who knew that Cal State Fullerton has such musical students? The legislature has even donated $46 million to the school back in 2006. So we invite you to come take a look at the musical talent here at Cal State Fullerton, and the exhibit will be open through the end of March. Back to you in the studio.
A Hollywood legend dies, and even a Sierra concert couldn't avoid the effects of the coronavirus.
For more in the world of entertainment, let's go to Elizabeth Manzo.
Yes, thank you, Tian. It's automatic, supersonic, hypnotic, funky, fresh in the world of entertainment. You wouldn't believe what 75-year-old is trying to one-two step into the cover of Playboy magazine. But first, former Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein suffers an injury in jail. Reports say the convicted rapist was dizzy and then suffered a fall. The incident occurred Sunday morning in Rikers Island. Throughout Weinstein's trial, he's had ongoing heart issues. Since last week, he has been placed in care of the infirmary unit at Rikers Island. Dolly Parton wants to recreate one of her most famous magazine covers. That's right, her 1978 cover of Playboy. Parton revealed her dream in a recent interview. She said, "I don't plan to retire. I just turned 74. I plan to be on the cover of Playboy magazine again." Parton was 32 when she was first featured on the notorious magazine. She hopes to celebrate her 75th birthday by gracing the pages of Playboy magazine once again. Coronavirus continues to be a buzzkill. Sierra becomes one of the many artists to postpone an upcoming concert due to health concerns. The pregnant singer was set to perform in Texas on March 19th. The new concert date has not yet been released. In heartbreaking news, Hollywood legend Max von Sydow dies at age 90. His family confirms Sydow was nominated for 2 Oscars in his career. He was featured in at least 79 films, debuting his acting career in as early as 1949. Some of his most noticeable works include The Seventh Sea and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And that's the latest on the world of entertainment. Guess we'll have to wait for Dolly Parton's next birthday to see if Playboy dreams do come true. Now back to Tian and Chase at the desk.
Coming up, we've got the latest updates in sports.
And stay tuned to hear from Titans showing off their talents tonight on campus.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
The Titans basketball teams are headed to the Big West tournament, but it wasn't an easy run for the men's team.
That's right. Glenn has the latest on Titan athletics, the NBA, and the NHL.
Thank you. My name is Glenn Hernandez, and this is what's been happening in sports. First off, the Titan softball team participated in the UCLA LBSU Invitational over in Los Angeles over the last week. They started their invitational run on Thursday with a 5-1 loss against the Michigan Wolverines. On Friday, they won their first game against the Minnesota Golden Gophers 2-0. However, in the second game, that same day, the Titans lost against San Diego State Aztecs 6-5. They ended the Invitational on Saturday with a victory over the UCF Knights 7-2. In the upcoming Titan events, the road to the March Madness tournaments for Titan basketball continues, as both the men's and women's basketball teams will start their Big West Championship tournaments this week. The number 6 seeded CSUF women's basketball team will travel to the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach to take on the number 7 seeded female Matadors of CSU Northridge at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. As for the number 7 seed CSUF men's basketball, they will travel to the Honda Center to take on the number 2 seeded male Matadors of CSU Northridge this Thursday at noon. Next, in the association, the Lakers and Clippers played against each other yesterday with much on the line, as the Clippers are on the hunt for a playoff spot, while the already clinched Lakers are on the hunt for the first seed in the Western playoffs. The Battle of LA saw the Clippers' Paul George and Kawhi Leonard combine for 58 points, but it wasn't enough to hold down the Lakers, as LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Avery Bradley had a combined total of 84 points. The Lakers went on to defeat the Clippers by a score of 112-103. Both teams will be in action tomorrow. And finally, NBC Sports Network presented their National Hockey League game of the Chicago Blackhawks and the St. Louis Blues with an all-female-led broadcasting team yesterday. The anchors, the color commentators, and the interviewers, and even the technical team were all comprised of only women, as March 8th is the day where the International Day of Women is observed and celebrated. Kate Scott, Kendall Covey-Schofield, and AJ Malensko were the women behind the color commentary of the match. The St. Louis Blues would go on to win the match 2-0. That does it for sports. Let's send it back to the main studio.
Some of the most talented students at Cal State Fullerton are gathering tonight for a talent showcase.
For more on Titans Got Talent, we go to Monique Barrios, who is live at the TSU Pavilions for the annual spring event presented by ASI Productions.
So we are actually here in the back where we see some of the dancers performing for Titans Got Talent. Titans Got Talent will be starting in just a few, I'd say, hours. It's going to be starting at 7 p.m. and I'm so excited to be able to see the different talents that Cal State Fullerton has brought here at the TSU.
Watching OC News. I'm Chase Napier.
And I'm Tian Williams. We'll see you next time.